want to start with who are you? Because that's like, I'd like to know that. Oh my god, her eyes.
Who am I? Your interest certainly is of great compliment to me, but I insist. Don't try to flatter me, dear ferret. I don't blush easily.
Okay, that. Are you sure? Does she does blush usually, or she doesn't? Because, God, that face. Contrary to her last anecdote, I see a faint blush forming on her face as she playfully giggles.
I am called...
Okay.
Tirth Ankara. My dear, I guide such wanderers as yourself in ways of nirvana.
Tirthkara Nirvana? I'm afraid I don't quite understand.
All in due time, my dear. One cannot expect to simply know. One must learn alongside their journey.
With that cryptic last comment, the conversation seems to die down. Okay. What is Titvia?
Ah, such wise questions you possess, my dear. Titva is the land of the lost, where the past, both sinners and saints, come to find inner peace. But how did I get here myself? Now, is it not obvious? You have passed.
So Titva, I can't call it Titvia. So Titva is an afterlife of sorts?
Afterlife, my dear ferret, in Titva, you have but yet to incite your journey.
While her vague speech leaves me vastly unsatisfied and more confused than before, I realize there's no point dragging on the conversation. Don't really need to ask am I dead, because apparently I am indeed dead. Why do you call me Wanderer?
Well, surely you wouldn't want me to call you something you aren't, would you, dear?
I grit my teeth a bit and give her a slightly sarcastic approval. She lets out a brief giggle before continuing.
In Titva, wanderers are simply those who follow the path of samsara, much like yourself, my dear. Wanderers are such sinners who seek the great nirvana. However, the call of nirvana does suit all. Some fear its greatness, while others struggle to achieve it. In a world of sinners, only some can find solace in its calls.
But what exactly is nirvana? She shakes her head in disappointment.
My dear ferret, that is the very crux of your journey. I am only here to guide you. Knowing I won't be getting much else...
Well, one thing, I'm having trouble, like, actually notice when and who and how it was talking. Knowing I won't be getting much else from her, I reflect on her previous comment. And what of those wanderers who never pursue or achieve nirvana?
You see, my dear, the question of samsara is not one of short time. Wanderers may be stuck in such a cycle forever. Sometimes sinners never finish their journey, whether out of weakness or out of will. But I warn you, dear wanderer, the self is not a tool to be played with. The longer the journey, the stronger the self will be in return. And must I say, the stronger the self, the harder nirvana will be to achieve.
Her speech remains cryptic, but I am able to decipher glimpses of information in her vocal puzzles. Figuring I won't be able to squeeze more useful information out of her, I end the discussion. Last one, we're just going to do this one for now. What did the pool do to me?
Passing is quite a difficult task, is it not, dear ferret? With such weariness of the spirit afterwards, one is fated to be forgetful.
But what did the pool actually do? The experience was not something of a sedative. Surely it couldn't have just been mere water.
The water of the pool simply refreshes your spirit's weary state, my dear. That is all. Nothing of trickery here.
Without much hope of a definitive answer, I transition back to the original question. Alright, I don't think we need to bother with this one, so I think no more questions.
Now, my dear ferret, I am sure you have many more questions to ask, and I promise they will all come to fruition in due time. At this moment, however, I am afraid those questions are not of utmost importance. In a short silence, Carmela takes a seat on the fence surrounding the reflective pool. She begins to swing her legs back and forth in a childlike fashion. At the same time, she playfully gestures for me to sit before her. As I do as she commands, kneeling comfortably on the ground. As I fulfill her demands, she begins to speak once again. Alright, I think we're gonna... that sounds like a decent place to stop. So, I love this game so far. Like, I love the tone. The art is beautiful. It's really interesting. Like, I don't know. Some of the past version novels I've played, I've had trouble, like, really getting invested. This one seems cool as shit. Really excited to be able to play it. Definitely going to be a bunch of episodes out on this. So, look forward to more soon, guys. They should be daily here coming. So, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you back on the prowl next time. Bye! Alright, welcome back, everybody. Obviously, I'm really enjoying this game so far. I haven't even got into the actual game yet, but I have high hopes. This seems like it's going to be really good to me. You see, my dear, there is still much for you to learn. Alas, I fear I will not be able to teach you all there is to know. Come on. Oh, I already forgot how to say it. It's Kamala. Kamala? Yeah. Kamala takes a short breath, continuing to playfully swing her legs before immediately springing back into the conversation. But how could forget? I love the way she talks. I keep hearing like, oh, did they mess up in like the in the words? I'm like, no, that's just how she talks. My dear, do you know of the difference between sin and merit? I simply shake my head in response. She sighs as a smug smile slowly forms on her face. With all action there comes consequences. Is that correct, my dear ferret? Our world is bound by the actions of the wanderers, you see, and for each cause there must be an equivalent event. I'm not sure see what you're getting. I'm not sure see what you're getting what. Isn't that common logic? What? So smart yet so ignorant, thanks. Are we not, my dear? The flow of these actions is what we call karma, you see. For each path you wander, there is an equivalent at its end. And how does this tie into sin and merit? You see, my dear wanderer, the journey for great nirvana reflects the actions of its vagrant traveler. Merit is the reward of those who follow the path of just, while sin punishes those who fall astray. Are my words clear to you, my dear? What she saying seems incredibly exotic. I can't tell if it's simply her cryptic speech or the concept itself, but I continually find myself at a loss as our conversation continues. Despite my mild confusion, I figure, oh, people need to stop messaging me on different things. I figure it's better to continue on rather than to try and wrestle this notion. When I speak again to answer, I notice my voice is a bit rougher than it was prior. I think so. She raises an eyebrow. Eyebrows raised. She raises an eyebrow, almost as if immediately detecting my rough lie through the subtle hesitation in my voice. Now, I sense an uneasiness in your voice, my dear. Could it be that you are still of great confusion? Great confusion! That you do not understand my answers? Or is there something about my responses that are of bother to you? Unsure of how to answer, I slightly shake my head as an unassertive, the look passes over my face. I notice Kamela's body language slightly changed. Her previously playful gestures replaced by disappointed, nervous fidgeting. Interesting. At a loss for words, my dear. I am troubling you. I see it written on your face. I am of great apologies that you cannot rest easy. I can't keep this
accent I, for some god-awful reason, decided to do. I can't keep it consistent. Why? It just morphed into an accent. I don't know why. I'm so sorry. A mild emotion of guilt, but I'm going to keep going with it. You can be sure of that. A mild emotion of guilt replaces my confusion as she tries her best to comfort me with her enigmatic proverbs. I try my best to look for an answer to console her, but find myself at a loss of words as I realize my past confusion has simply been displaced rather than resolved. As I continue to look for words, an awkward silence blankets over our presence. Our conversation once again extended from ambience of the forest around us. I find myself nervously eyeing in quiet as she continues to fidget anxiously. A few short seconds later, smart Kamala's hands return to a cradle as a muted blush fades across her face. An uncharacteristic display of embarrassment, she breaks the quiet atmosphere with a flustered stutter.
Wanderer, could it... Wanderess, could it be you are of some frustration with that?
Oh, is this really? Is this doing what I think it's doing? I shoot her yet another perplexed look, a bit unsure of her implications. What could she possibly extracted from my blunt confusion?
Well, dear ferret, I can assume of you that is of no need to worry about such perverse matters, for within Tatva, even in the world dominated by sinners, the act of love is not undoubtedly a sin. My eyes widen as it comes to my attention what she's trying to bluntly imply. How exactly did you... Before I can ask how she was able to derive that from my demeanor, Kamala cuts me off to further her one-sided discussion. Her previously subdued embarrassment seems to have been exchanged for an oddly misplaced passion. You see, the act of love can even be of merit, my dear. The journey of great nirvana does not need judgments against the qualms of desire, but rather... Quickly catching herself going overboard, she regains her composure with a slight cough. My dear wanderer, please forgive me for my passionate triads. It has simply been such a long time, you see. I do so greatly hope my misinterpretations may not be detrimental to you. Her remaining blush fades as she returns to her previous playful gestures with another childish giggle. But alas, my dear, I did not want to be keeping you from your great journey any longer. I have already wasted much of your precious time, have I not? To avoid any more complications, I console her with a simple disagreement. Yes, thank you for your advice. Carmela's face lights up in response to my compliment, an even greater sense of passion overwhelming her. It is not of such problem, ferret. I will be here for your needs if you require such further guidance. You see, while I cannot lead your journey, I can advise you to the best of my abilities. I will recommend you to start your travels in the Overgrowth, for that is the heart of the fine lands. Movements later to find her conversation dying down once again, and with that I find this last silence signifying the start of my journey. Blammo! Alright. How is that not surprising that we already managed to get that thing? I love it. I absolutely love it. Alright, so I guess it's time to start. So man, look at all like these places we can unlock and like go to. So it looks like this is, I have to go here to start with at the very least. So what do we got? We've got a backpack. Oh, so we've got like an inventory. This is the top one, a book of sorts. Oops. Oh, I see. I can just right click and open that. Perfect. Oh, some sort of weapons maybe menu. Can we save yet? It doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it can save yet. That's fine. Return. Okay.
Oh, so look at so power, will, reflex, knowledge, lust, and spirit. Desire nothing, soul nothing, body. Woof. I'm a big old bag of shit right now. Oh. Wait. Wait. I don't want to leave yet, really. Yes? Outside you may encounter enemies. Talking to enemies may yield an alternate option to fighting. Being merciful may yield more items, but show no mercy will reward more experience. Certain options may be color-coded to your stats, which can be viewed through with right-click by clicking the menu button or lotus icon. You have 6 stats: knowledge, will, power, spirit, lust, and reflex. Knowledge dictates how effective skills are and what your resistance is to enemy spells. Will dictates the changes of damaging enemies, and also how much damage is added onto the skill. Okay. Power is tied to how much damage you do and how your defenses are. Spirit is tied to both how much damage certain skills do and the chances of enemies using skills against you. Lust dictates how much damage is added onto enemies without clothes and chances of ripping clothes. Blam! We'll get that shit going. Reflex is added to the odds of you missing during attack. Okay. All skills can be tied to choices from enemies. At the end of a battle, you will recover 10% of your max HP back. Battles are mandatory upon first landing and can be optionally returned to afterwards. However, upon leaving an area, all battles will reset to be mandatory once more. Skills can be used in battles. Skills are learned through equipping chakras, which may also increase and decrease stats. Leveling up and trading is done with jivas, which can be earned through battle and through discarding chakras and items. Talk to Kamala and select meditate to access the level up screen, which can spend Javas and level up. Saving can be done in 2 places: at save points denoted with a heart or on the world map. Unlike saving, loading can be done anytime. Lastly, karma is a stat which can be gathered through various interactions. While red and light blue are used to color code meritorious and sinful choices, some actions may be less obvious. Most situations will not signify when karma is affecting an interaction. Many other wanderers and inhabitants in Titva will wander around the world between interactions, sometimes only giving subtle hints as to where they will be. If you find a dead end, perhaps try to come back to it at a later point once you know a companion has moved. Just remember, there are 2 sides to every story. Best of luck, Lost One. I like it. Alright, I figured out how to navigate the map, so I think we are ready to go on our super adventure. Alright, so we get to click, and then we just get to go places. I don't know. Okay, so if I hit explore on the question mark, what happens? The overgrowth appears to slightly clear up ahead, although there doesn't seem to be much there. Okay, so this will lead us to an encounter with, I'm assuming, an enemy, or here we can encounter something else. Let's try this. Oh, okay. Hello, rogue warrior. You must... So, this is the interesting thing. Now, there are different ways to play, so I don't know if, like, everything I do right now will affect... So can I talk to her? I'll warn you, I can still fight! Really now? Well, yeah, bitch! Get out of my way, I'm busy! She begins to shake, but disregards the threat. Oh, I don't think so. Oh, I don't think so. I'm warning you. I'm warning you. Get out the way. Oh, stop disregarding my threats. Okay, okay, we need a new tactic. I should really just hit her. She'll probably run away. How about you want to make peace, darling? Of course. Forgive me. I'm sorry. That's it. She's gone. I have received 0.0 jivas. So, nothing.